Hello people, my name is Kevin and welcome to Wanna Watch a Movie, my YouTube channel where I react to movies and shows. Tonight, I'm going to be watching the 2005 film Capote. I don't really know too much about this movie. I know it's about the author Truman Capote and I know it's got Philip Seymour Hoffman in it. I know this was the movie that Philip Seymour Hoffman won an Oscar for it, for Best Lead Actor. Beyond that, I really don't know much about it. I don't know the plot, I don't really know, I can only vaguely remember a synopsis where I think he makes a connection, he becomes friends with a guy who's on death row. Beyond that, I really don't know much about it. So I'm going in pretty much completely blind, but you know, that's always exciting. And I'm guessing I'm gonna enjoy it. If you like this video, please, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. If you wanna help contribute to my channel and really help support my work, you can join my Patreon. I have a link in the description below. And somewhere around here. That'll give you access to polls where you can vote on what I watch next. It'll give you access to a Discord server where you can chat with me about movies. It'll also give you early access to my YouTube edits, and it'll give you access to full-length reactions. So if that's your kind of thing, head on over there. And so without further ado, let's get started. Capote. That's my dog sipping water over there. Shush. Capote. Kind of feels like a Thomas Newman score so far. November 15, 1959. Kind of nervous. The whole thing seems pretty foreboding so far, even though it's just a black screen. Okay, Wheatfield. Oh, I also know the Truman Capote book, In Cold Blood. I haven't read it, but I've heard of it. I know it's really famous. I don't know what it's about, though.
Hello? Nancy?
Who's Nancy? Oh, shit. Was that the girl, Nancy? Or was that somebody else? Or I guess I know why the book's called In Cold Blood now.
I am honest about what I write about. I'll let you know if it's autobiographical. And I find autobiographical stories at this juncture in my life to be quite boring.
He's got a strange accent.
I had lunch with Jimmy Baldwin the other day.
The? Jimmy Baldwin? James Baldwin?
Plot of his new book.
I love James Baldwin.
But I just want to make sure it's not one of those problem novels. And I said, Jimmy, your novel's about a Negro homosexual who's in love with a Jew. Wouldn't you call that a problem? I'm saying, if you're going to write something like that, at least be honest while you're writing it.
Is that Notes from a Native Son? No, probably not. I don't think so. I'm gonna make a point to read that book now. Okay, so what does this have to do with the dead girl? I'm guessing he's gonna get pulled into that somehow. Newspaper clippings, huh?
Have you read the article about the killings in Kansas in the front section of the New York Times? I think that's what I want to write about. I want to go tonight.
Write about for a book? Write about for a newspaper or magazine or something? Oh, is that easy? Just get on a train and... Okay, cool.
God, I'm glad you agreed to come. You're the only one I know with the qualifications to be both a research assistant and a personal bodyguard. Thank you.
We see a friend, colleague.
Mr. Truman Capote and Miss Nell Harper Lee.
Harper Lee? As in To Kill a Mockingbird Harper Lee?
I thought your last book was even better than the first.
Thank you.
And just when you think they've gotten as good as they can get.
Thank you very much.
Seriously, is that actually Harper Lee? Like Harper Lee, Harper Lee?
You're pathetic.
What?
You paid him to say that.
How did you know?
Just when you think they've gotten as good as they can get.
I thought that was a good line.
Got a bit of an ego problem here. It's kind of weird seeing Philip Seymour Hoffman talking that voice. I'm just kind of used to like his character in Mission Impossible 3 and in Hunger Games. Had a much deeper voice.
I'm looking for Alvin Dewey. Truman Capote from The New Yorker. Bergdorf's.
Sorry?
The scarf. I wonder when we could arrange an interview. I don't care one way or another if you catch whoever did this. I'm writing an article on how the clutter killings are affecting the town.
You didn't call ahead to ask for an interview?
I care a great deal if we catch whoever did this.
You can come to the news conference with the rest of them. Sears Roebuck.
Huh.
And it's her friend that found him?
Laura Kinney.
Let's talk of a bunch of Mexicans.
Whether it was Mexicans or Methodists or Eskimos, we're going to find whoever did this. Now, 4 good people from our community are dead.
Serial killer territory here.
Is offering $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest.
$1,000 in 1959. That's gonna be a lot of money.
He was foxy with that old man.
What do you mean foxy with that old man? I'm not sure that I'm interpreting it the same way he is or something. Damn, all the wide open spaces here.
Can any of you tell me where I'd find Laura Kinney?
Laura?
Wait, are you really just going up to random kids in school? Like,
I'm gonna find out where that girl lives. Can I do that alone?
oh, this funeral parlor? Do they really just let you walk in here? I'm guessing it's gruesome. Oh, that bad, huh?
I saw the bodies today. I looked inside the coffins.
That's horrifying.
It comforts me. Normal life falls away. But then I was never much for normal life. Yeah, people here won't talk to me. They want someone like you, like Nell. Me, they hate.
I can't think of a single quality I share with Nell.
Well,
Maybe manliness.
Is it because he's a New Yorker? Is it because he might be gay?
Nancy was your best friend. How's Danny been?
Pretty shattered. Nothing terrible has ever happened to him before.
People in town do seem to wonder if he was involved.
oh, it's the hardest when someone has a notion about you and it's impossible to convince them otherwise.
It's a wise quote.
Thought they had me pegged because of the way I am, and they're always wrong.
I want to show you something. Maybe this will give you a better picture of what happened.
So nice just having him sit with us. Left at 11. He's the only one I really love.
Is his objective here to find out who did it, or is it something else?
Pretty shattered. Nothing terrible ever happened to him before. Yeah, I have 94% recall of all conversations.
94%.
I've tested myself.
Really? Wow. It's impressive.
Detective Foxy's wife has read fiction.
We're in.
We are in.
I see, okay. So they get to talk to the sheriff just because the wife likes his books? Okay, cool. This movie seems very unhurried so far, and I kind of like it.
Alvin, get your pants on. They're here.
Alvin pretends he doesn't know who you are, but the minute you came to town, he read your books.
No.
He had one of his men pick up breakfast at Tiffany's.
He wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's?
I was writing the script as they were filming. All that time in Italy, and Humphrey had just about moved into the hotel bar
Humphrey Bogart.
where he and John. Bellhop told me I had a phone call, and it was my stepfather, Joe Capote, calling to say that my mother had died. I could see that Joe was in even worse shape than I was. And he said to me, talk. Don't worry whether it'll interest me or not. Just talk, so I won't break down. He couldn't bear to be alone with his thoughts. It was too painful.
That guy, Alvin Dewey, he looks familiar.
It's been a hard couple of weeks for Alvin.
How do I know him? American Beauty. He was in American Beauty. He was the guy, the dad. Oh. Oh.
Why would they put a pillow under the boy's head just to shoot him?
Muffle the sound of the gunshot, maybe? I don't know.
Why would they tuck Nancy in? And you don't have to worry, because I'm not going to write about this till everything's over.
I'm trying to think, did Harper Lee write...
Remember Nell's manuscript she sent me in New York?
Yeah, Mockingbird, Killing a Mockingbird.
So she hasn't written it yet.
She just heard Lippincott wants to publish it.
That's gonna change the history of American literature.
Will you be home by Christmas?
I promise. We'll go away this spring to write, maybe Spain.
Okay, these two guys are definitely a couple, right? Or something? 'Cause I'm getting a couple vibe. Measuring people's height.
I have 94% recall. Cut that out. Cut that.
Oh, it's impressive.
People who can do that are really amazing. Like people with like eidetic memory.
Sorry, he's upset. They know who did it. One of them had a cellmate who gave him up for the $1,000 reward.
Alvin, get in here. Not now, Alvin.
I'm really fighting the urge to make a chipmunks joke.
Alvin, not now.
Resist, resist, resist. Don't make a chipmunks joke.
You need to call the chief of police in Las Vegas. They say you need to call them immediately.
January 6th, 1960. Oh, so it's been like a month and a half? I think, yeah, a month and a half or so. I was like, that guy looks familiar. How do I know him? Like I said, this really kind of feels like a Thomas Newman score here. The piano, the soft lone piano.
Truman Capote.
Dorothy Sanders. So I have breakfast, and I have news, and I have literature.
To the maiden of the Midwest, the priestess of the plains, the queen of the kitchen, my first novel. Truman.
Okay, if I got a book with an description like that, I would treasure that. Do we have a cell in here? And I'm guessing that's one of the guys, one of their suspects. Yeah, that's him.
Do you have any aspirin? My legs.
This guy looks familiar too. What do I know this guy from?
I'm sorry.
I want to say he's that guy in Pacific Rim, he looks like. I could be wrong, though.
In the matter of the state of Kansas versus Richard Eugene Hickok and Perry Edward Smith, the defendants wish to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. Is that your wish?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith?
I asked that the waiver be effectuated.
So noted.
That's the guy who plays Lucifer in Supernatural. I can't remember the actor's name, though.
Was it your choice to waive the hearing?
Can he do this?
You
Just
still need some?
go ahead and, like, talk to a detainee like that?
I could kill you if you got too close.
I mean, dude, that just get you in more trouble.
He said we'd crave favor with the judge if we waived our right.
Who did?
The lawyer.
That's a really shitty lawyer, then. I have to remember that this was before the Miranda rights. Before the Miranda rights case.
Mr. Sean?
Truman.
I'm writing a book. You Will Be Stunned by Perry Smith. How much more money can you send me? And how quickly could you get the Abaddon out here to take some pictures?
He's got a great deal of clout if he can just, like, get money and, like...
Yeah, Dick's a very famous fashion photographer.
Who are you closer to, your mom or your dad?
Well, both.
Who'd you talk to first?
I mean, I'd respond that way weirdly to that question also. It's kind of a weird thing coming from a piece. Sound of the shutter like that. 12 angry men here.
Members of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
Yes, sir.
That quickly? How long has it been?
You stand accused of 4 counts of the crime of murder in the first degree.
Guilty on all 4 counts.
Have you unanimously reached a sentence?
Usually in a court of law, you go through each count individually. You wouldn't say guilty on all 4 counts.
Death.
Death row. Okay, well. Usually you go on the count of X, we find the defendant guilty. On the count of Y, we find the defendant guilty. On the count of Z, we find the defendant guilty. You wouldn't say. There's a procedure for doing that.
I need to see him before we go. They're going to transfer you up to Lansing today. You'll have to make sure to put me on the visitors list. I'm going to help find you a proper lawyer for an appeal.
Is he gonna try to save this dude's life? Like,
Let's put me on the visitors list.
did they kill him or not? Also totally unrelated, but more trains should have, like, bed compartments. Like, it is a dream of mine to, like, be on a train and sleep in it or something, you know? Like, sleep in a bed compartment or something.
They placed a pillow under his head and then shot him point blank in the face.
This is the start of a great love affair.
Yeah, Truman in love with Truman.
This is the book I was always meant to write.
Well, he hasn't actually written a word of it yet, but he says it's the nonfiction book of the decade.
Inventing an entirely new kind of writing. The nonfiction novel. 2 men broke into a quiet farmhouse in Kansas and murdered an entire family. Why did they do that? I spent the past 3 months interviewing everyone in Kansas touched by that violence. Researching this work has changed my life.
I really gotta read this book now.
So you find them a new lawyer.
And they're facing execution in 6 weeks.
6 weeks? They execute him that quickly?
Yeah, I need to hear their story.
Truman, you're finding yourself a lawyer.
Oh, I'm finding them a lawyer.
So this is Lansing, the prison? Crutch for Congress.
The warden will see you now.
Well, we do all right by our boys. Showers once a week, feed them good.
Once a week?
Well, you hadn't eaten in a month. It ain't his right to kill himself. It's the right of the people. And that's who I work for, the people.
Yeah, prison is horrible.
When can I see him?
How about you come at 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon?
No, I need to see them now. Then whenever I want for as long as I want.
Just not how we do things around here, Mr. Capote.
Yeah, I understand what a burden unlimited visitation might be on this institution and on the people who pay for it. I don't expect the citizens of Leavenworth County to have to shoulder that burden.
I feel like there's a veiled threat in there somewhere. bribe?
You know, I didn't know where to count your boy at first, him being half Indian, but I did him a favor. I counted him as a white man.
You're a kind and generous man.
Yeah, this is still the era of Jim Crow in the South.
Hey, thanks a lot for your help with a lawyer.
Oh, that's fine.
Wow, you must be really desperate for a story. Come all the way out here. Just trying to prove the insanity defense.
Bonnet pears, bonnet bananas, what? Is that baby food? Oh, I see. He's gonna try to get him to eat baby food. Oh, he's actually in the cell with him here.
It's okay. It's Truman. It's okay.
Quite the artist. Why does Truman have such an attachment to this guy, Perry Smith? Perry Edward Smith.
Before she had us, before she started drinking.
Who took care of you as a child?
Orphanage.
That must have been horrible.
Yeah, we're not so different as you might think. I was abandoned repeatedly as a child. My mom would drag me along to some new town so she could take up with another man she'd met. Night after night, she'd lock me in the hotel room alone. Mom would turn the latch and tell the staff not to let me out no matter what.
That's horrible.
I screamed my head off. And after years of this, she just left me with relatives in Alabama.
That's horrible.
That's where I met Nell. She lived next door. Your mother was Indian?
Cherokee.
Drinking was not a good thing for her.
No tolerance for it.
Yeah, rates of alcoholism among Native American people is like horrifically high.
Suicide watch. That's why they leave the lights on at night.
I hope we're past that now.
That's definitely gonna make it hard to sleep.
Perry, I want to take your notebooks with me. If I leave here without understanding you, the world will see you as a monster. I don't want that.
It's a big thing to ask, though. Share your innermost thoughts with somebody like that.
He's given me absolutely everything. He wants so badly to be taken seriously, to be held in some esteem.
Do you?
Do I want?
Do you hold him in esteem, Truman?
Well, he's a gold mine. And sometimes when I think how good my book can be, I can hardly breathe.
Don't forget that he's not just a thing for you to get a good story out of. I mean, he's a person, dude.
If called upon to make a speech just in case he's ever recognized for an achievement. I don't think ever before have so many people been so directly responsible for my being so very, very glad. Where'd you go?
I guess it stopped being funny.
Yeah.
One day I said to her, Mom's dead. I could see it. A week later, we got the news. Just trying to make me so many times with that flashlight.
Well, you're nothing if not hardworking.
Yeah, I've decided on a title for my book. I think you'll like it. It's In Cold Blood.
And that refers to the crime or the fact that you're still talking to the criminals?
I definitely gotta read this book now.
That lawyer you helped find for your friends got them a hearing at the Kansas Supreme Court.
Oh, wow.
On the issue of inadequate counsel.
Yeah, that tends to happen when, the lawyer counsels, waiving your rights.
If those boys get off, I'm coming to Brooklyn to hunt you down.
That was quite a threat.
We're gonna be able to use your book for our case. You wrote how terrible the lawyers was.
I haven't written a word yet.
What have you been doing?
Research. Talking to you. I had hoped...
What are you calling it?
The book? I have no idea. If I'm going to write about you, we need to talk about the murders that night.
Dick says you know Elizabeth Taylor.
I know a lot of people.
Who's Elizabeth Taylor?
I have invitations to be in Morocco and Greece. I prefer to be here with you. Jack, be patient with me.
Why don't you just try leaving him alone for a while? Come to Spain. I've got my own writing to do.
Do it in Brooklyn. Wait for me.
I'll leave the address on the kitchen table.
I gotta admire Jack's patience so far about all this.
We never intended on killing that family. Will you get that straight in your book, please? No premeditation.
I have to fly back east. I miss you already. Write me every 5 minutes.
Where did he leave them? Is that like a Costa Brava, Spain? Okay, he came to Spain to see Jack. Nice. Oh, damn. 1 year later? Damn, that ringing.
I've not been able to tear myself away from your book. This first half is astonishing. When will you be done, do you think?
I can't finish that till I convince Perry to describe the night of the killings to me. I can't finish the book till I know what happens. If Perry and Dick are executed, it's one thing.
Truman, you got your ending. The Kansas court denied their appeal.
Oh, shit.
I mean, you need to talk to Perry now. He'll be dead by September.
Yeah, go talk to him now.
I mean, I'm sorry. I know how much you've come to care about him.
Appealed at that level take a while.
And we'll publish in the fall.
Why aren't you working?
Well, I knew you couldn't be counted on to stock the kitchen. What are we going to feed our famous guests? Plus, I finished my novel yesterday.
What's he written? Because I feel like all of these people are famous authors. Jack, what's his last name? Jack something.
When was the last time you wrote to him?
I don't know.
It's a letter for Truman I was asked to deliver.
It's from Perry.
Dear friend Truman, read this item in a medical dictionary. Death by hanging is caused by asphyxia, by fracture of the cervical vertebrae. Not too comforting as we lost our appeal. Missing you, alone and desirous of your presence. Your amigo, Perry.
Mr. Sean told me about the court decision yesterday.
I was wondering why you're in such a good mood.
That's a terrible thing to say.
Yeah, and even worse if it's true.
Been so focused on the book lately.
Have I seen this dude in, that actor, the guy that plays Jack?
But Jack thinks I'm using Perry, but he also thinks I fell in love with him when I was in Kansas.
Yeah, I can see why you think that.
Did you fall in love with him?
I don't know how to answer that.
Truman.
It's as if Perry and I grew up in the same house. And one day, he stood up and went out the back door, while I went out the front.
That's quite a way of putting it.
Listen, you be nice to Jack. Sometimes I think he's what I like about you best.
I see at the reading in New York.
Just right on the lips, wow. That's how people did it in the 60s. Maybe that was just the relationship that he and Harper Lee had. Thoreau, giving him a lot of reading material.
Lo, you're being moved. Why? You're going to final holding.
No.
Damn, no.
Turn around. Put your arms behind your back.
Now Dick and me were next in line.
I'm so sorry. I've been away.
How's the book coming along?
Very slowly.
Will you show it to me?
I've hardly written anything.
I don't know if he believes that anymore, dude. It's been a year. Also, dude, you don't feel a little icky lying about the book to the subject of the book?
The first public reading of Truman Capote's new work, In Cold Blood.
Wow, a whole, concert hall, for a book reading, wow.
My name is Truman Capote.
Does anyone still do this? Because I want to do something like this.
I'm going to read some passages from the first 3 parts of my new book. The village of Holcomb stands on the high wheat plains of western Kansas. Until one morning in mid-November 1959, few Americans, in fact few Kansans, had ever heard of Holcomb. Exceptional happenings never stopped there. Perry Smith's voice was both gentle and prim. Ejected it like a smoke ring issuing from a parson's mouth.
Elegant language.
The head of each was completely encased in cotton. One Tuesday at dawn, a carload of strangers.
That's how they dispose of the body?
Thank you.
There's Harper Lee.
Tennessee loved it.
Of course he loved it.
Tennessee and Tennessee Williams.
I mean, this book is going to change everything. It's going to change how people see your writing. I think it's going to change how people write. Are you going to be finished by October?
I think so. You know they're scheduled for next month.
Dang. We're going to commit as many issues as it takes to publish.
I'll get Perry to talk.
What's he got to lose?
Except all of it. He's gonna die.
And this may sound strange to you, but I'm going to miss him.
You'll be able to finish now.
Stay of execution.
This is what we've been waiting for. Stay of execution to make a federal appeal. All thanks to you.
Wow.
Thank you. You're not going to corner me now. Not unless the U.S. government says so.
I need you to talk to me.
We got all the time in the world to talk. I've been thinking about Ricardo. You really need to stop sending him those trashy books. They only exacerbate the problem. They only heighten or intensify it. Maybe we can get him started on a program.
I know what exacerbate means. There's not a word or a sentence or a concept that you can illuminate for me. There is one singular reason I keep coming here. November 14th, 1959, 3 years ago. That's all I want to hear from you.
Kind of being an asshole now, dude.
I asked you not to, ever.
This is absurd. Do you know what absurd means? I'm ready. I found your sister in Tacoma. Maybe she'll talk to me about something useful.
You can't just use a person like this, dude.
Please don't go out there.
And when you want to tell me what I need to hear, you let me know.
Shit, man.
Now Perry did what he did. I used to love him. He was my little doll. Scares me now.
When was the last time you saw him?
10 years ago.
Shit.
Could I borrow one of these pictures?
Take the whole thing. I don't want them anymore. Don't be taken in by my brother. He's got this sensitive side he'll show, but he'd just as soon kill you as shake your hand. I believe that.
Coming from his sister, wow, it's quite the indictment. He's been in that cell for years now. Oh my god. I can't imagine how horrible that is.
What's the name of your book?
Don't lie about it, dude.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Truman Capote read last night before a packed audience from his nonfiction book In Cold Blood.
Yeah, he's gonna find out eventually, as long as he gets newspaper clippings.
It's not true. The organizers of the reading needed a title. They picked one to attract a crowd.
It's not your title.
Harry, I haven't chosen one yet.
Dude, stop lying to him.
How could I choose a title when we still haven't talked about that night? How could I?
I don't like this.
Pretend to be my friend.
I couldn't pretend to be your friend. The truth is, I can't help wanting to be. I have something from your sister. She misses you.
The ethics of this is bothering me.
There must be something wrong with us to do what we did. We heard there was $10,000 in that house. Once we tied up everybody and searched all over, there was no money. Dick wouldn't believe it. Said he was going to go up to Nancy's room and have his way with her.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't allow it. We turned off the lights and went down to the basement where Mr. Clutter and the boy was. He kept saying no witnesses, but I figured if I waited him out, he'd give up and we'd leave him tied up there. He asked how his wife and daughter was, and I said they were fine. He was just looking at me like he expected me to kill him. I was thinking this nice man scared of me. I mean, I thought he was a very nice gentleman. And I thought so right up till I slit his throat.
Oh. So Perry shot them all?
How much money did you get from the Clutters that night?
Between $40 and $50.
Jesus Christ. Wow, that was...
The truth is, I'm desperate to be done with it. I spent 4 years of my life on this book.
4 years, damn.
They got a stay of execution yesterday.
Another one? Like a federal court?
Supreme Court.
Guess I got my answer.
Yeah, all I want to do is write the ending, and there's no end in sight.
Dear friend Truman, haven't heard from you in such a long while. Please help find new lawyer. Our last appeal. What a pair of wretched creatures. Please help.
Just put it with the others.
So he's ignoring him now. Deeply sorry for your trouble. Notified lawyers, but extensive search. So sorry. All past to Truman. To Kill a Mockingbird. Oh, this is the film.
At least for now, you should try and pretend you're having a good time tonight.
How are you?
Terrible torture, the way what they're doing to me. I now, with the Supreme Court, say win this appeal. I will have a complete nervous breakdown. Pray that it turns my way.
So you're hoping that they'll execute them.
They're torturing me.
Yeah, because it's all about you here, dude.
How'd you like the movie, Truman?
He's a bit full of himself, yeah.
I frankly don't see what all the fuss is about.
To Kill a Mockingbird, one of the most influential films of all time.
I have a call from Mr. Perry Smith in the Kansas Correctional System.
Hello, Perry.
You heard the Supreme Court rejected the appeal?
Damn. They're going to get executed now.
I didn't. I hadn't heard that.
We got a date set for the warehouse. 2 weeks and
2 weeks.
14. Will you visit me, Truman?
You owe that to him, man. April 14th, 1965. Today's the day.
It's him again. It is utterly inappropriate for me to talk to him.
Truman, pick up the phone.
I'm sorry, he won't be able to make it.
Dude, you owe that to them.
I just got this telegram. Has he seen it?
He won't read it.
Would you put him on, please?
Nell, he won't talk.
If you have to hold him down and put the phone on his ear, I need to speak to him.
It's Nell?
Truman.
Miss Nell Harper Lee and Truman Capote. Sorry that Truman was unable to make it here to the prison for a brief word prior to necktie party. I want him to know that I cannot condemn him for it. I want you both to know that I've been sincerely grateful for your friendship through the years. I have become extremely affectionate toward you both. Adios, amigos. Your friend, Perry.
Damn. So he did come to see them.
Well, I didn't expect to see you again. You can visit for a few minutes.
He returns.
I don't know what you must think of me.
You haven't been foremost on my mind lately, as you can probably imagine.
I understand why you didn't want to come. You know, Ricardo donated his eyes to science.
Who's Ricardo?
Some blind man will be seeing what Dick used to see.
Oh, him. He's
You
Ricardo.
could be walking
Okay.
in Denver somewhere, Truman. Suddenly these eyes will be staring at you.
I don't know why I didn't connect Ricardo and Dick this whole time. I don't know why I didn't make that connection. Oh fuck, he's crying.
You'll be watching.
Do you want me to?
I'd like to have a friend there.
Okay, then I will.
It's all right.
I did everything I could.
Okay.
I truly did.
I know.
It's time.
Jesus.
Mr. Capote.
Goodbye.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
I wish I had more.
Mr. Capote.
Goodbye.
That's really how they do this? They just do it in a warehouse like this? Oh.
Let's see.
Harry Edward Smith.
God.
For the crime of murder of the first degree, you are sentenced to hang until you die.
I was fear no evil. With all our plenty.
You can say something if you want.
Is there anybody from the family here?
No, Perry.
Well, tell them. Can't remember what I was gonna say. The life of me.
Oh, his speech in the book.
Our Father who art in heaven.
Oh god. Oh god.
It was a terrible experience. And I will never get over it.
They're dead, Truman. You're alive.
There wasn't anything I could have done to save them.
Maybe not. The fact is, you didn't want to.
Yeah. Ah, he drew Truman. That's how it ends? It ends right there? In Cold Blood made Truman Capote the most famous writer in America. He never finished another book. The epigraph he chose for his last unfinished work reads, "More tears are shed over answered prayers than unanswered ones." He died in 1984 of complications due to alcoholism. Oh no. That's how it ends? Holy shit. Jesus. Based on the book by Gerald Clark. Damn. Used by Michael Dana. Yeah, I can see how that's Michael Dana. I hear it now. Philip Seymour Hoffman. My goodness. Capote. Mark Pellegrino. That was his name, the actor who played Ricardo. I'm gonna stop there. Okay, that was a tough movie. That was a tough movie to get through. I'm gonna start off by saying, yeah, obviously that was a fantastic movie. Obviously it was very well acted, very well produced, very well everything. But shit, that's so difficult. Any story that centers around someone being in prison or someone about to be executed, like The Green Mile or Shawshank Redemption or anything like that, that's always gonna be difficult to watch. Oh, man. Okay, I feel like eventually, like, some of, like, my beliefs and everything about politics, social issues, stuff like that, it's gonna come out just over the course of doing these reactions and stuff. So I figure I may as well just be upfront about it. I may as well just say what I believe rather than, like, try to censor myself or anything like that. I don't believe in doing that. It took me a while to come around to this position, but I believe that the death penalty should be abolished too. Like, we shouldn't do that. The state shouldn't kill people. If the idea behind prison is to punish people or rehabilitate people, the idea behind prison is that it's a public good, that you're protecting the public interest by not letting horrible people be in society. But that isn't what prison does most of the time, to my knowledge. Most of the time it locks up people for, like, most people in prisons aren't violent offenders. And like, even if you are a violent offender, you should be able to serve time and then get out and then have all your rights again. You should be able to vote again. You should be able to buy a house, buy a home again if you can. You should be able to get a job again, because that's the idea behind serving your time. I don't mean to make this movie reaction channel into something that it isn't, but I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't share at least some of my beliefs about this. I have a feeling if I continue doing this channel, I'm gonna come across more movies that are about being in prison and more movies about, you know, difficult subject matter like that. And I feel like it's just gonna come out. So I may as well be upfront about it. I may as well be honest and open about it. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox and I'm gonna talk about the movie. What did I like about the movie? Philip Seymour Hoffman is obviously breathtaking in this movie. Okay, maybe just because I haven't seen that many movies with Philip Seymour Hoffman that he's still a bit of a character actor to me. He disappeared into this movie, into the role of Truman Capote. Like, every time he was on screen, I did not see Philip Seymour Hoffman acting as Truman Capote. I saw who I believed to be Truman Capote. Like, it's this interesting phenomenon I've noticed sometimes with some actors. Like, some actors are just so good at their craft that you can't help but be aware at all times that this is an actor acting and it's not the character. Meryl Streep is a good example for me. Like, she's so good and she's in so many good things and she's just a talented and amazing actress. But the thing is, every time I see her on screen, maybe just because she's just such a recognizable face, and I've seen her in so many interviews and award ceremonies and stuff, that I'm just so aware that it's her acting, that it's Meryl Streep acting as this character. He was using Perry this whole time for his story, and a part of him did hope that, like, the stay of execution wouldn't be granted, that they would just be killed so that he can have an end to his book. And, like, that's horrific and cruel, and that's a horrible thing to want. I like that they refuse to uncomplicate that. I like that they just let us sit with that this guy that we've been following this whole entire time, he's not an entirely ethical person, that he is self-interested in this quite a bit. And I like that they let him be as complicated as he was. Let's face it, real people are not archetypes or anything. They don't always do the right thing. They don't always stick to the character traits that a writer or an author ascribes to them. They're complicated. They contain multitudes. You can grow genuinely attached to a person, but also, you know, be self-interested and want to see something happen for your own gain as well. As horrible and unethical as I think that is, it's still possible. Aside from Philip Seymour Hoffman, obviously he's a standout. I totally see why he won the Oscar for Best Lead Actor for that. The guy who played, what was his name? The guy who played Perry, Clifton Collins. He was also excellent. The whole scene where he confessed to the murders and in the cell, that whole scene was, as I'm sure you saw, I was just transfixed the entire time. I was speechless. The woman who played Harper Lee, I knew I recognized her from something. She was the mother in the film Get Out, in, you know, the Jordan Peele horror movie. I knew I recognized her from something. It's just the short hair made it hard. And what was his name? The guy who Jack. He's familiar to me too. I know that actor from something, and I just can't pinpoint it though. I'm checking IMDb. The Star Trek movie. Star Trek. He was Admiral Pike, if I recall correctly. But the character, Jack Duffy, I assume he was a real person. Do I know anything he wrote? Dear Genius, John Fury, The Murderous McLaughlin's First Wine, Night Movers, and Honest Woman. I don't know any of these books. I'm definitely gonna read In Cold Blood after this, because damn. And also I gotta read that James Baldwin book that was mentioned in the beginning. What would I give this movie? The only thing I felt like was missing from the movie is I feel like it was very quiet a lot of the times. Like there wasn't a lot of like background, like there wasn't a lot of score to it, you know, there wasn't a lot of music to it. And if I would have changed anything, obviously I'm not a filmmaker or anything, I don't know what I'm doing. But if I would have changed anything, I would have added a little bit more music, just because sometimes the decision to have silence is good. Like it actually like adds something to add something to the movie, but like there's so much silence in this that I feel like having a little bit more music would have added to it. But whatever. What do I know? I don't know. I'm not a filmmaker. What would I give this out of 10? I give this an 8. Just an 8 out of 10. This is a good movie. I'm gonna end things there. I feel like this has been like the longest review I've ever given. Coming up on 12 minutes here. Thank you so very much for watching. If this is the kind of content that you like, please, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And share, of course. And if you want to contribute to my channel and help support this, please join my Patreon. I have a link in the description below. And as usual, there's more stuff coming soon. So thank you so very much for joining me. And have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good evening. Whatever. Have a good one.